Okay, so a few weeks ago I posted a video where I ranked all 64 games of the 2022 FIFA World Cup. This video saw one of the best few weeks of football we've ever witnessed condensed into a 15-minute ranking. From my perspective, I thought the rankings were pretty spot on, but that wasn't quite the case in the comments. Over 1,000 comments later, and I quickly began to realize not everyone agreed with me. After scrolling through the comments that everyone left, I thought to myself, maybe I should go back and revisit my tier list to see what I can fix. And that's exactly what we're doing today. With the help of your comments, we're going to look back on my World Cup tier list and see where we can make a few changes. We will see which matches are worthy of going higher in the tier list and which ones may have been ranked too high to begin with. Alright, here we go. First, we have Netherlands versus Ecuador. A few of you thought that my C tier ranking for this game was too low. Looking back, this was a solid game where Ecuador had 13 more total shots than the Netherlands, so we'll bump this game up to the A tier. Next, we have Ecuador versus Senegal, a game that I thought was deserving of a B tier ranking, but not everyone agreed with that. Considering how even the two teams were here and the offensive showing we got to see, we can move this game to the A tier as well. Next, we have Netherlands versus Argentina, a game that I ranked in the S tier in the original video. A lot of you thought that I didn't show it enough appreciation. Apparently, to most people, this game was on the same level as the final, which I put in a separate tier as the best match of the entire tournament. Looking back, this match could honestly be considered the best match of the whole World Cup if the final had never happened. The tension, the excitement, the drama between the two teams was insane, and the actual game that we all got to watch was a great display of football. This game may not get an upgrade in the ranking, but we'll move it towards the front of the S tier so it's right next to the final. Next, we have England versus France. Originally getting an A tier ranking, that was not good enough for some people. The matchup between two of the tournament's favorites deserves more recognition than originally given, which is fair, considering we got a very even match that saw only one goal separate two very good sides. This game gets a promotion to the S tier today. Next, we have England versus USA. My least favorite match of the entire tournament certainly had polarizing opinions in the comments. The fact that the States were able to hold their own against England was apparently deserving of at least the A tier. It certainly wasn't my favorite game, but maybe it wasn't as bad as I made it out to be. It can jump up to the A tier today. Next, we have Argentina versus Saudi Arabia, the first ranking that I really got called out for. Giving this match an A tier ranking felt illegal when I went back and read the comments. To be fair, I don't know what I was thinking by giving it an A tier ranking because it certainly was one of the best matches of the entire tournament. Considering Argentina's expectations, Saudi Arabia being underdogs, the goals that were scored, the storylines after the match. When you consider everything, it makes much more sense why this game was so impactful, especially since it occurred near the start of the tournament. We got to witness history in the making, and that should not be overlooked. This match gets promoted to the S tier today. Next, we have Mexico versus Poland, a match that I wasn't expecting so much heat on. Most of you thought this match deserved to be higher for one main reason: Ochoa's great save on Lewandowski's penalty. Looking back, that was a pretty wild moment and deserves more recognition. Even if it was a 0-0 draw, we saw a very even match with good play from both sides, and a D tier ranking is anything but fair for this match. We'll put it into the B tier for now. Next, we have Australia versus Denmark. I think a few Aussies came after me for this ranking, so I take back what I said about this one. A game that saw Denmark have nearly 70% of possession and 13 total shots saw Australia take the lead with a great lucky goal, and maybe I forgot all the other stuff that happened in this game when I made my ranking. Regardless, I agree that a C tier ranking is too low for this match. That's why it'll go up into the A tier today. Next, we have Argentina versus Australia, the first demotion of this video. Apparently an S tier ranking for this great match was a little too ambitious. I'm not exactly sure why some of you thought this game deserved to be lower, but if we're looking at the quality of all the other games, it starts to make a bit more sense. Maybe I was too invested in Australia coming super close to almost beating Argentina, or maybe some of the plays weren't as good as I originally thought, but overall this was still a really good game that still sticks out in my mind. This game has to fall down to the A tier today. Next, we have Spain versus Germany. One of the most anticipated games of the group stage was not up to standard when I ranked it in the B tier. Most of you thought this was one of the most highly tactical games of the tournament, and I do agree with that. Even if it was a 1-1 draw, seeing two heavyweights clash in a game like that deserves more recognition. This matchup can go into the S tier today. Next, we have Germany versus Japan. I thought this match was worthy of an A tier, but that didn't seem to be good enough. Looking back, this Japan squad was super impressive in this match, and taking down a Germany side that had almost 75% possession, more than 25 shots, and almost 3 expected goals is a crazy feat on its own. Add in the storylines that came following this match, and you have a recipe for a banger of a match. Japan's triumph can go up into the S tier today. Next, we have Morocco versus everyone. The biggest talking point of my ranking was how low I put all of Morocco's games. Looking back, a B tier ranking for all their matches except the Croatia game, which got a C tier ranking, was totally unfair and undeserving. Morocco had one of the best World Cup runs that I can remember, and the games they played together deserves more attention. A great match against Croatia saw them hold their weight even with only 35% possession while playing some great football. A 2-0 win against Belgium, which saw them only have 33% possession, saw them put up 10 total shots and 1.48 expected goals to shock the Belgians. Another 2-1 win over Canada, which saw them only have 41% possession, saw them put up 6 shots while controlling play in the final third. Their unforgettable win against Spain saw them win their match on penalties after having a defensive masterclass and only controlling 23% of possession for the entire match. Their legendary win against Portugal saw them put up 9 shots and 1.4 expected goals while putting on a defensive clinic and only having 27% possession. Their unfortunate 2-0 loss in the semifinals versus France saw them put up 14 shots, have 3 big chances and over 2 expected goals, really giving the French side a task on defense. Their 2-1 loss in the third place match to Croatia was a great game that saw them put up 9 shots and 2 big chances, coming so close to being on the World Cup podium. Overall, Morocco had an absolutely incredible run in this tournament and it doesn't deserve to go unnoticed. Their 2 matches against Spain and Portugal go into the S tier today, with the other 3 group stage matches and 2 knockout matches all going into the A tier today. Next we have Croatia versus Brazil, another very big talking point in my original video. Putting this match into the B tier felt criminal to most people. Croatia's highlight of the tournament was a very intense match between a very strong Brazil side, and they were able to come out of it with a win on penalties. I think I wasn't a huge fan of the first 90 minutes, but extra time certainly was thrilling, with Petkovic saving Croatia in the 117th minute. Looking back, a match that saw 30 total shots, almost 2.5 expected goals from Brazil, and 50% possession from both teams deserves more hype than a B tier. When you consider how the narrative shifted after this match in Croatia's favor and to Brazil's downfall, you have to give this match way more credit where it's due. This match can slot into the S tier today. Next we have Croatia versus Belgium. I'm not sure if many of you enjoyed this match for the actual football that was played or because Lukaku missed about a million chances. Either way, this was another talking point in the comment section and a D tier was thought to be too low by most people. Looking back at this game, Belgium's 3.07 expected goals, 27 shots between the two teams, and Belgium missing 5 of their 5 big chances is all the criteria for one of the best 0-0 draws of the entire tournament. All in all, this was a pretty solid match even if there were no goals between the two teams. We'll bump it into the B tier for now. Next we have Serbia versus Switzerland. I'm not sure what I was thinking of putting this match into the B tier, and I certainly heard a lot about it in the comment section. A 5-goal thriller that was very back and forth between 2 solid teams deserves more attention. Some of you mentioned the political aspect of this match, others mentioned how heated it got between the two teams, others mentioned the drama that this match saw, and others mentioned how good the actual football that was played between the two teams was. Apart from the goals, we saw a pretty even possession, 26 total shots between the two teams, Switzerland missing 4 of their 6 big chances, and weirdly enough, no offsides from either team. This match was one of the shining gems of the end of the group stage, and I'm not sure how it missed my radar completely. This match gets bumped up into the S tier today. Lastly, we have Portugal versus Switzerland. The only other demotion of this video, the 7-goal matchup between 2 solid sides, was ranked too highly according to a few people in the comments. I understand that some people don't love a game that is entirely dominated by one side, which is totally fair, so maybe that's why it didn't deserve to be ranked so high. But there was a lack of tactics, a few too many goals, or Ronaldo's benching not being that significant. This match has to go down in the rankings. We'll put it in the A tier today. And there you have it, we have fixed my 2022 FIFA World Cup tier list. With the help of everyone in the comments, this is the new and improved ranking of all 64 matches. Looking at all the updates that we did, a few notable changes are England versus USA jumping from the F tier to the A tier, and Argentina versus Saudi Arabia moving up to the S tier. We also had Argentina versus Australia going from the S tier to the A tier, Spain versus Germany going from the B tier to the S tier, and Morocco getting an upgrade in all of their matches. Not to forget, we also had Croatia versus Brazil going from B tier to S tier, Serbia versus Switzerland going the same route, and Portugal versus Switzerland falling from S tier to A tier. All in all, I'm happy with the changes we made today. A huge shout out to everyone who commented and watched the original video. Your support means so much and I can't wait for you all to see what's in store. Thanks again, and I'll catch you next time.